on Sky News Business. This is Business Class.
Hi, I'm James Wilkinson and welcome to Business Class. Today's show is coming to you from London. Before we check into some of the capital's top spots, here's this week's travel news. In travel news this week, the governing board of the Oneworld Global Airline Alliance has nominated Qantas Group CEO Alan Joyce to serve as its chairman for the next 2 years. As Oneworld Governing Board Chairman, Alan Joyce will chair its board meetings, oversee Alliance governance, and work closely with Oneworld CEO Rob Gurney and the Central Alliance team. Oneworld Alliance Airlines serve more than 1,000 airports in over 150 territories, with some 14,000 daily departures. Still on Oneworld, and Cathay Pacific and Qantas customers are set to benefit from a new codeshare agreement that provides more options for customers travelling between Australia and Asia. The codeshare agreement will see Qantas add its code to Cathay Pacific and Cathay Dragon services within Asia from Hong Kong to 10 cities across India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka and Vietnam, and on Cathay Pacific's long-haul services from Hong Kong to Perth and Cairns. In turn, Cathay Pacific will add its code to 13 routes on Qantas's domestic network in Australia. Fellow Oneworld Alliance carrier Sri Lankan is set to upgrade its flights between Melbourne and Colombo from next month to an Airbus A330-300. The wide-body aircraft features Sri Lankan's impressive business class cabin, onboard Wi-Fi, mood lighting, and over 100 movies on demand. Still on airline news, and Singapore Airlines has taken delivery of the world's first Airbus A350-900 ultra-long-range aircraft. It's the first of 7 A350-900 ULRs on firm order and will enter service on October 11, 2018, operating the world's longest commercial flight between Singapore and Newark Liberty International Airport outside New York. The aircraft is configured in a two-class layout with 67 business class seats and 94 premium economy class seats. Across the Tasman, fellow Star Alliance carrier Air New Zealand has teamed up with innovative footwear brand Allbirds to create an eye mask to help customers sleep better and wake up fresh. Dubbed the Bird Mask due to its bird-like features, Allbirds has transformed the humble airline eye mask into a luxurious and sustainable travel companion designed to be used over and over again. Here's what it's all about.
We reached out to our friends at Allbirds because they deliver the world's most comfortable shoes, and we knew that they were absolutely the right partner to help us deliver the world's most comfortable eye mask.
The name Allbirds comes from the idea that when people first came to New Zealand there was nothing there but birds, no mammals. We're on a mission to make better shoes in a better way, and a few years into it, but very much focused on the idea that we're on the cusp of a revolution in sustainable manufacturing and the way that products are made, and hope to very much be a part of solving that problem. Air New Zealand approached us with a really high set of standards around the type of in-cabin experience that they wanted to create, and then set us free to try and see if we could solve it in the context of the eye mask.
Allbirds are a fantastic startup story, and they use great New Zealand merino wool. And it was this opportunity for us to work with people who we share really good design DNA with.
The result is a merino wool execution that I think is incredibly thoughtful, incredibly fun, and also functionally really successful, and something that we're really, really proud of.
We quickly realised that the wool felt great on the face, and it was going to work well in an eye mask situation, and we started to sort of drill into where were the opportunities to further enhance comfort.
This idea of bringing the mask down to cover the nose to keep the light out was really important, and we found that obviously that looked a little bit like a bird beak, so the idea that became a bird mask and something whimsical and fun was sort of something we stumbled into, but it was really about solving the problem of light leakage and about comfort.
The super exciting part for me is the foam mould, the shape of the eye mask. It means that when you're wearing it, you can open and close your eyes and your eyelashes don't touch anything.
This partnership is one of those things that came together so organically, and I think certainly for a brand like Air New Zealand, I know how important sustainability is to them and their future. The fact that it's made with New Zealand merino wool, and not just any New Zealand merino wool, but the very best of the best, to be able to trace that back to farms in the South Island and to use a ZQ certification that sort of mandates that animals are being cared for and that the land is being cared for and that the wool is the best in the world.
Whether you're a New Zealander travelling abroad or whether you're a visitor to New Zealand and receiving one of these, you'll have a little piece of New Zealand you can take with you.
Hotel Cafe Royal is well known to be one of the most luxurious hotels in London. Let's go inside. Thank you so much for your time. We're here at the beautiful Hotel Cafe Royal, which has quite a remarkable history here in London, doesn't it?
Yes, it has indeed. It was opened by a Frenchman in 1865 as a restaurant and wine shop to start with, and then from then on became a real place where the great and the good of this world met. From these days, we're talking about Virginia Woolf, Oscar Wilde, of course, and then later on Churchill, Lady Diana, David Bowie, etc. So a lot of history, both in terms of heritage through the building and people that have been coming through the doors the last 100+ years.
And more recently, in the past 6 or so years, a beautiful hotel above the famous cafe.
Correct. So our current owners closed it down about 10 years ago. We went through probably 3 or 4 years of refurbishment, and indeed the last 6 years it's become one of the most sought after hotels in London. A real modern and grand approach to it as well, so that's quite a unique offering too.
And if you look at what's on offer here, tell us a bit about the rooms in here. You've got a beautiful design here right throughout the building.
Yes, David Chipperfield was the architect that was involved with the project from the start to make it a hotel. And I spoke about modern grand 2 seconds ago, and really the idea is that we are the only hotel in London that offers that marriage between a classic heritage, this room for instance is an example of that, and also bringing some modern elements and contemporary moderns to it. 160 rooms, 53 suites, right in Piccadilly on Regent Street, great location and very central.
And downstairs you've got a great new addition with the bar, which has got quite a bit of a David Bowie touch to it. Yes, indeed. I mean, we talked about the history again earlier on, and I think David Bowie retired the character of Ziggy Stardust here in this very place in 1973. He had his last concert as his, of course, alter ego of the time on that year, and invited all his friends, Mick Jagger, Lou Reed, etc., at what he called the Last Supper, very much so. And we created this bar, opened this week, as an homage really to both our history, the heritage of the hotel, and of course a British iconic artist and idol. And if you look at things like that, it's such a great history here. You could do so many different themes with the famous people that have walked through these doors and had dinners in some of these great rooms. Yes, we could. I think my focus here is always to create something that has substance, that is legitimate and authentic. So we could create 20 restaurants named differently, but really when we talk about quality and good experiences, I want to make sure that we focus on 3 or 4 key things. And Ziggy's bar was one of those where it made sense to do so, but then you could do too much of a good thing. And I think for us, we focus on doing everything very, very well. That was one of those for sure, but I think we'll stop here in terms of iconic, because otherwise we would have 160 rooms named with different people, which wouldn't work. Yeah, and you're obviously in a great leisure spot here, but also a very convenient spot for business travellers coming to the city as well. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Look, we are sitting on Regent Street. Piccadilly Circus is 2 steps away from here, in the middle of Soho, St James, Mayfair, Leicester Square is 2 minutes away. So in terms of leisure and business, you're right in the centre of where you want to be, undoubtedly. So you step out of the hotel, you go to the theatre, restaurant, shopping, and if you're doing business, all the offices are around here too. Outstanding. Have you got a couple of favourite things you really love about this hotel? Well, first of all, my personal connection with it is that I worked here 20 years ago before it became a hotel. So it was for me a real love story to come back here and manage the changes in the process and the service, etc. So personally, that's of course a real plus.
And our new lobby, I think, is a real beautiful addition to it, and a place where, when you go into Palace Hotel, and a sense of arrival, then I think it's unrivaled in London.
You're in one of the most iconic spots in London, but you could walk past and almost miss this hotel with its little entrance. It's a bit of a hidden gem here in London, isn't it?
Yes, I think you're right, and it's been talked about quite a few times in the past. People love hidden gems because they always feel like it's their hotel and their place to go to, so they invite their friends and guests who can stay with us. We like that. I think being a great hotel also means that sometimes you want to have discretion, exclusivity, uniqueness, and I think that gives us that aspect very, very well.
And if I'm going to go and have a bite to eat at the famous cafe or one of your restaurants in here, what am I eating?
I think my favorite restaurant is called Laurent. We opened that in June this year. What I like about the restaurant is that it offers amazing grilled food first, i.e. fish and meat in particular, huge parrilla grill, open kitchen, a lot of fun, and we also have a sushi counter. So if you want to have a nice light lunch, some good sushi or sashimi, made extremely well by Japanese chef, is outstanding. So I love that restaurant, of course. Ziggy's now is for a good drink in a beautiful space. It's great. And of course we have the Oscar Wilde Lounge downstairs, where if in London you want to have an afternoon tea experience, then it's the best. Amazing, beautiful room. Was there since 1865. So to feel the heritage of a place like ours and have a great afternoon tea, quintessentially British experience, it's amazing.
And any other favourite tips to do in the area if I've got a little bit of time here, if I've got a spare day or two?
Well, listen, you're in London. If you want to do a bit of tailoring and shopping, Jermyn Street is right next door to us. Piccadilly is right here, Regent Street, so clothes shopping, a little shave if you want, great barbers in the area. And of course, in terms of exhibitions and shows and so on, it's all on doorstep. Royal Academy of Arts is right here, about 10-15 shows in the area, in the music halls or theatre plays and so on. Unbeatable, really.
Coming up after the break, we check into some of the top hotels in London.
You're watching Business Class on Sky News Business. Welcome back to Business Class.
InterContinental London Park Lane, where I am right now, is well known as one of the top luxury and business hotels in the capital. Here's what you can expect. Situated at one of the capital's most prestigious addresses, InterContinental London Park Lane presents modern luxury accommodation in the heart of Mayfair. Inspired by its location overlooking the royal parks, the hotel delivers elegant natural interiors and award-winning seasonal cuisine. The hotel features 387 rooms alongside 60 expansive suites. Guests across the hotel can expect high-speed internet access and the latest in technology, along with InterContinental's signature bath products. The 60 suites come complete with access to Club InterContinental and a 24-hour butler service. When it comes to dining, the hotel features Mexican eatery Ella Canta, led by star Mexico City chef Martha Ortiz, alongside top Italian eatery Theo Randall at the InterContinental. The hotel is also home to a top day spa featuring state-of-the-art facilities. And when it comes to service, you'll find some of the best hotel staff in the capital. InterContinental London Park Lane is also very well known for its restaurants. Let's now go inside one of the top Mexican eateries in London, Ella Canta. Thank you so much for your time today, Martha. We're here at one of the most eclectic restaurants in London at the InterCon Park Lane. How do you think this fits in with London's food culture? It's a huge food culture in this city, isn't it?
Of course, and I adore this city, I adore the flavors. But I think now the Mexican movement, not just through food, through culture, through everything what is happening, it's coming brighter in London and in the world, and I'm so happy and so proud Mexican.
And how could you describe the kind of Mexican food on offer here?
We say we eat colors. What we want to say with this is that we give authenticity through the food. We give beautiful colors that we have, a very contrast food. You go to Mexico and you can have a black mole with a red rice in a blue plate. So I think it's a high contrast, you know, colorful food, like our country. And the other thing that I think it's very lyric and feminine. You feel all these very sensual flavors, very deep. And I think that women, we have this knowledge about beauty, about sensualness, about lyric, about, you know, this magical thing together.
I mean, around the world we all know different kinds of Mexican food, but authentic Mexican is very mysterious to most of us, isn't it, I think, as a cuisine?
Because we have to be aware, a lot of people confuse Tex-Mex with Mexican, you know, that it's the American point of view of Mexican food, and I think it's another kind of food, or Southwestern, you know, they call it, no, Cajun style, and with a lot of cumin. But Mexican food, I think it's so profound, so elegant, so different, and if you see, it's like Mexico has built like a nation of gastronomy. We have fusion food from the beginning, you know, the pre-Hispanic heritage, the New World, and the Old World together in a profound kiss. That's the best.
And we were saying before off camera that it's so much fun now. So many London hotels are doing things a bit different with the restaurants, not just doing classical British hotel restaurants anymore.
I think that's very important for the hotels and for the world. People want to eat authenticity. People want to have vibrancy. People want to have, you know, go and think they're in a very well-defined place. And I think Ella Canta has these kind of characteristics that are very important.
Wonderful. We're looking forward to trying the food tonight.
I'm very happy and I'm very pleased, as we say in Mexico. Buen provecho.
One of England's top restaurateurs, Theo Randall, also has a restaurant here at the InterContinental London Park Lane. We caught up with Theo to find out what's fresh and new. Chef, thanks so much for your time today. We're here at the InterContinental in London, and you serve up some of the best Italian food in the entire city.
Well, that's very nice of you to say so, yes. I think we've been one of the numerous awards for it, and I haven't got an Italian bone in my body, but I have an Italian soul.
Oh, fantastic. And tell us about the style of Italian food that you offer here in the restaurant.
So the style of Italian food is very sort of rustic. It's taking a lot of inspiration from different regions of Italy. Not being Italian, I guess I'm a bit of a cheat. I go off to Italy, get inspiration, come back, and try and use as much local produce as I possibly can here. We've got amazing fish in the UK, brilliant meat, and a lot of vegetables. I do get a lot of stuff over from Italy, so being in Europe is very, very important to actually get all these wonderful ingredients. But it's all about seasonality. We're continuously changing the menu, and it's all about, you know, the quality of the ingredient and keeping it as simple as possible.
What are some of your favourite ingredients at the moment to be using in this autumn time of the year?
So autumn is a fabulous year. Autumn is a fabulous time of year. We have wonderful squash. We've got delica squash, which is one of the most brilliant squashes you get from Italy. We've got fresh porcini mushrooms. We've got girole mushrooms. All those wonderful fungi you get. Truffles going to be coming in very, very soon. We've got some beautiful black Perigord truffles coming very, 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 very soon. Wonderful fennel, Swiss chard. Then the fish, we've got turbot on the menu at the moment, langoustine. We always have a dish with squid, and we've got all the fresh beans like the borlotti beans and the cannellini beans.
Making me very hungry just talking about all these different kinds of food, but I think the beauty you do have is here you can use that local produce from the UK with the Italian flavour.
We can get very good produce. I mean, you know, you do get wonderful root vegetables, you get wonderful cabbages, you get all these lovely greens, and there's much more demand now. So many farmers now are growing wonderful ingredients for the London restaurant market and the whole UK. So there is a much more interest in supplying restaurants, and also, you know, it's far better to get local produce because one, it's going to be fresher, and two, it's going to be a lot cheaper than importing it from other parts of the world.
It's a very big foodie town. Does that make it a bit more of a challenge of trying a few different things, especially with local produce here in London?
Yeah, it's foodie. It's very much a foodie town. I mean, there's so many restaurants, and we're always trying to find new ingredients. And you know, it's all about having a consistently brilliant menu and attracting people in, and you know, just generally making sure that the food you cook is of top quality.
And you've worked at quite a few hotels around the world with IHG now, haven't you?
So I have my restaurant here, Theo Randall at the InterContinental. I have a restaurant in Hong Kong. one in Bangkok, I've got one in Zurich, and I've also have another restaurant in Kensington.
Have you got a favourite of the kitchens that you like to work in?
Well, my kitchen here in Park Lane. This is where I am. This is my baby. All the other restaurants are protégés from who work with me in the kitchen, and they all have a share of the business, and they run their own kitchen.
All very different, I'm sure, as well, like and different concepts. What are some of the concepts that you have within the group?
The concepts are very much Italian. They're all Italian kitchens. All the chefs have a little bit of their own identity. I write the menus, we discuss things, but the most important thing is looking at the produce. So even in Hong Kong, we get as much local produce as we can. In Bangkok, the same thing, we get a lot of the vegetables from Chiang Mai. There are obviously things you have to import, but we try and use what is seasonal and what is available there. And then we put the Italian kitchen together and make sure that we can create the Italian food and the consistency and the quality by using these wonderful ingredients from those regions.
The Laslett in Notting Hill is well known as one of the best boutique hotels in the capital. Here's what you can expect.
I'm Tom Bartlett of Waldo Works, and we were the architects and designers of the Laslett Hotel. So we tried to create somewhere that was more of a neighbourhood hangout than a hotel lobby. From the minute you walk in, we wanted to make it feel really relaxed, and I think we've achieved that.
My name's Jerome Dodd. I'm the owner of Les Couilles du Chien, a local business who's been selling curios and objects for over 25 years. Each of the room has artworks from local artists such as Barry Kamen, Barbara Hulanicki. These are mixed with these irreverent artworks that we've created. As a good example is the deconstructed 18th century clock behind me.
The design brief was to create a hotel inspired by local culture and British style. So the Laslett is spread across 5 Victorian townhouses, and we managed to create 51 guest rooms and suites, and it's located perfectly, seconds from Notting Hill Tube Station, minutes from Hyde Park and Kensington Palace, and it's situated next to Portobello Road, which is the world's largest street market. It's a hop to the Design Museum.
In particular, try and visit room 19 with its fabulous Victorian taxidermy fish set in a field of lava. Hopefully it'll bring a smile to your face.
It's got a sort of quirkiness to it, which hopefully comes up with a sort of slightly British sense of humour.
Now let's check out some more of our favourite luxury and boutique hotels here in London. The Soho Hotel features 96 rooms and suites, all individually designed by Kit Kemp, alongside one of the neighbourhood's top eateries called Refuel Bar and Restaurant. Down the street and close to Trafalgar Square is the uber-cool St Martin's Lane Hotel, which was designed by one of the hotel industry's most eclectic designers, Philippe Starck, and originally opened by the enigmatic Ian Schrager. At St Martin's Lane, you'll find 204 rooms and suites, as well as the brilliant Asia to Cuba restaurant off the lobby, which serves up a fusion. Over in Shoreditch, the team behind the stylish and fun Gansevoort Hotels chain from New York have opened a property called The Curtain. Here you'll find 120 impeccably designed rooms and suites, some with wraparound balconies. There's a rooftop pool and brasserie with great views of the neighbourhood, while downstairs is the London outpost of famed Harlem eatery Red Rooster, which on Sundays plays host to one of the best brunches in London, featuring the Gospel House Choir in an experience not to be missed. In Knightsbridge, the Jumeirah Carlton Tower is popular with business travellers thanks to its location on Sloane Street, just a 30-minute drive from Heathrow. It's also popular for its 270 spacious rooms and suites, alongside a brilliant health club, pool and spa, as well as the food and drinks on offer at the Red Room restaurant. Here you'll find some great regular specials, including a true power lunch, where if you don't get 2 courses in 60 minutes, it's free. At the Marylebone Hotel, which is fast becoming one of the most sought-after hotels in West London, you'll find some of the city's most spectacular suites. Atop the stylish hotel are the London Suites, which come complete with retractable roofs, outdoor fireplaces, open-plan lounge and dining areas, comfortable beds, marble bathrooms, and fantastic views of the city. The Marylebone Hotel also features 108 Brasserie, where you'll find great modern British cuisine morning, noon and night. And right around the corner from Paddington Station is our top bang for buck hotel in the capital called the Pilgrm. Here, the rooms might be small, but they're spacious. And they're also some of the most well-designed compact rooms we've seen in some time. The hotel also features a cool restaurant and bar that serves up cocktails in collaboration with some of the world's best bartenders, alongside having the best coffee in Paddington. Well, that's it from us in London. Thanks for watching and see you next time on Business Class.